This is the Nancy Stevens Lifestyle Show here on the New Horizon Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Nancy Stevens Lifestyle Show here on the New Horizon Radio. And after a brief summer hiatus, I'm delighted to welcome you back. This week we've got a real mixture for you: television, books, film, friendship, and a very proud mum moment. So coming up, I've got two very different TV recommendations: The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox and the hugely fun Ride or Die. I'm also talking about some books I've read, actually, including Sathan Sangira's fascinating look at George Michael. And I've got a little preview of a book next week that I've been reading ahead of next week's very special guest, and that is best-selling author Sarah Pinborough. I cannot wait for that. And Magic Mike Live in the West End. I bet you're wondering, did I get a lap dance? And also, off the back of that, my son made his West End debut. Proud mum moment, honestly. Couldn't be prouder. I've also got a film review of Holy Days, and we're going to finish with something very close to my heart: female friendship, including my 45-year friendship with my lovely friend Steph and a wonderful women's circle called Queen Bee. So grab yourself a cuppa, get comfortable, and let's get started. And my two TV picks of the week, and there are a lot actually, I was spoilt for choice. I have The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. This is based on the infamous real-life case. I don't know if you remember. I mean, you would have had to be living under a rock for all those years when it was going on. And Amanda Knox was a American student out in Italy, and she was accused of killing her British friend Meredith Kercher, and she was convicted, imprisoned, and eventually exonerated. But it was how the media portrayed her. She was absolutely vilified, and I think we all formed our own opinions of her. But you know, as always, there's two sides to every story, and what I loved about this was her side. This was her side of the Amanda Knox story, and it was a very uncomfortable but very compelling watch. And as a mother, I could not imagine what her mother must have gone through to see her daughter go through absolute hell for years and years and years. And it wasn't just about the fact that she got tried. It was a trial by media. I would say that was one of the first of its kind in the 2000s, when women particularly were just vilified in the press. And how much do we really know about someone from what we see in the media? And as I said, I just feel that with a case like this, when young, beautiful, probably a little bit deemed overly confident stroke cocky, this did not go down well. But she did get exonerated, and she's actually over the last few weeks she's actually been at the Edinburgh Fringe doing her stand-up comedy, and it's been very well received in most quarters, but not by the family of Meredith Kercher, who still feel that she is kind of making money off the back of their daughter's death. And but in the main, it was a great her stand-up series was very, very well received, and I think she's gone on to live a happy life, married with children, and for the most part we'll never be able to put it behind her. But it's a fascinating watch. And then conversely, on the other side, the very fun Ride or Die. Now, as you know, I have the biggest girl crush on Hannah Waddingham, and I make no mistake about that. Honestly, she is an absolute goddess. And I loved the chemistry with her and Octavia Spencer, who stars two best friends. One is secretly an international assassin, and the other one is married to an MP. And we all know what we think of MPs in the main, and he is exactly that MP. But it is about their dynamic, the dynamic between them, and the wonderful friendship, and the fact that I suppose with friendship comes secrets and chaos. And would you forgive your best friend for hiding a secret that big, i.e. she's an international assassin, from you? Would you? I don't know if I would. It's fun. It's frivolous. It's light-hearted. It's pure escapism, and I love the fact that they're women in midlife having an adventure. And as I say, the Hannah Waddingham, I could see her as a female James Bond. She is such a badass, just kicking her way through life and just being phenomenal. She's Hannah Waddingham, and she can do anything. And I've just started watching the full series of Ted Lasso, which I will review in a couple of months' time, because they're only dropping one episode a week, which is killing me. But again, this is the show that absolutely made her, and I am obsessed. I'm reviewing this incredible book called Tonight the Music Seems So Loud, a signed copy, and it's called The Meaning of George Michael by Sathan Sangira. And it's a fascinating read. It's more than a biography. It's about George, his music, and his cultural impact. And the fact that George Michael's music has formed a backdrop to our lives for most of us, certainly in my age group. What's your favorite George Michael song? What memory does it bring back? And I guess for me, I wasn't a big fan. But after reading this, it gave me such an incredible insight into what a deeply complicated person George Michael was. An absolute perfectionist, a stickler for detail, control freak by his own admission. And he did make things very difficult for people around him that he was working with, because he just wanted to control the narrative of absolutely everything. And obviously, when he was in Wham with Andrew Ridgeley in the 80s, they were the ultimate pin-up icons, and he hid his sexuality for a very, very long time until he was actually outed. And then after that, he was a very proud gay icon and very much speaking up for gay rights and supporting the sort of AIDS charities. And I don't know, I just find it a beautiful, beautiful book. I mean, it's described as a frequently extraordinary book, part biography, part social commentary, and part love letter. It somehow does full justice to the magnificent man it examines. It's no ordinary pop biography. This is a very personal exploration of a very unusual artist, and it's more than a biography of a pop icon. It's a sharp, insightful look at George Michael's life and how he challenged society from politics to identity in ways that still resonate today. And Sadiq Khan has that's his review. And I think what was amazing about George Michael is he was such a philanthropist, and he was very quiet about it. There was so much that came out after his death about how much he had donated to charities and on a personal level as well. So a really, really good person, just a very, very complicated soul who never really found true happiness and satisfaction from the industry that he was in. So yeah, a very, very interesting read. And I feel like I know so much more about George Michael, as I say, so much more than than just a pop icon. But on the other hand, I have here in my grubby little paws, They Say a Girl Died Here by Sarah Pinborough. This is a preview. So this book, as at the time we speak, has not even been released in the shop. So I'm very lucky that I got this. So they say the killer was caught. The case was closed. It can't happen again. They were wrong. So I'm not going to reveal too much, because Sarah's going to be my guest on my show next week. But the atmosphere is so chilling. Something isn't right from the get-go. Something isn't quite right, and you can feel the hairs on the back of your neck just prickling, because she's such an incredible storyteller, and you just know, as I say, from the get-go that something is not right. And I don't know if I worked it out actually. But, you think you've worked it out, and then you start questioning yourself. As I say, Sarah is next week's guest, and I'm obsessed. It's very different to her other books, actually. So I've got lots and lots of questions to ask her. But she's written Behind Her Eyes, which I'm reading, which I'm watching at the moment, which, again, I've watched in 2021. And it's such a great adaptation of her book. So chilling, and for someone who has such a sunny disposition, I'm going to ask her how she gets into the deep, dark depths of her mind to write such dark books. Also, Insomnia and almost 30 novels. And as I say, with Sarah Pinborough, spoilers are absolutely forbidden. I know I'm always having proud mum moments on this show, and both my boys do me proud all the time. But this is an exception. Benji, my youngest son, has made his West End debut at the age of 26 in a show called Magic Mike Live. And honestly, proud mum moment does not even cover it. All his hard work and auditions and rehearsals over the years have come to this. And I think for Benj, who has had a really interesting but fulfilling career and has done so much by the age of 26, to reach this moment is a pinch me moment, because this is the ultimate dance show for someone like Benj, who's trained in commercial dance. This is his gig. This is the biggest gig he could have ever asked for, and he is absolutely loving every minute of it. And I think a lot of people were sort of saying, "Oh my God, what's going to be like watching him in Magic Mike." But firstly, I just want to talk about the show itself, because proud mum moments aside, the show is not what you expect at all. It's actually really classy, and it's about female empowerment, about safe words, about giving women power and a voice and a place in society where they are powerful, and it's just not what I expected. There's tap dancing, there's aerial, there's piano, there's some beautiful singing, and it's just a really, really classy show and an extraordinary display of talent. So it's not what you expect. It's not sleazy in any way, shape, or form. I mean, if that's what you want to make of it, then that's fine. And there is a gathering. There's obviously the plethora of Hindus that go along, but it's all in a very safe space, and strictly no touching is allowed at all. So very strict rules. It's at the Hippodrome, which is a casino in Leicester Square, and you've got to be 18. It could be over 18 to go in, and there's a dress code, which I have to say that's for another time, but people didn't adhere to that. But it's a really, really fun show, and I absolutely loved it. And Benji being I actually would go and see it again because it was just so empowering for women. It really, really was. Having said that, it's not exactly the Sound of Music. And people are saying, did I get a lap dance? Well, obviously I didn't get a lap dance with Benji because that'd be wrong on so many levels. But yes, I did get a lap dance. And again, it's just really empowering. And, I know the rest of my family are absolutely mortified. My eldest was just beyond mortified, and my mum was not happy at all. But for me, it was just really, really good fun. And the guys do it because they love the job. They are so good at what they do. And as I say, the show is all about empowering women, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to be seeing Magic Mike live in Aylesbury this week, and I will review it on my show next month. And it'd be interesting to compare what it's like at Aylesbury Waterside, because it's a big theatre, whereas the Hippodrome is a very intimate, only 360 seats. So, and you're very much in the round, as it were, very interactive. So it'll be a very interesting comparison. And that Magic Mike Live is the tour. So they're starting at Aylesbury, and then they're going to tour the world. So it'll be very interesting to compare. But overall, super exciting, very, very proud moment. And yeah, genuine pride in Benji. Honestly, I cannot wait to see what happens next. So coming up, I'm swapping the theatre for the cinema with my review of the incredibly heartwarming Holy Days. I'm putting my hands together because I saw this incredible film called Holy Days. What had attracted me to it? Well, after a summer of CGI, which I'm not a fan of, a plethora of Spider-Man movies and Marvel and all that sort of thing, which I really, really just does not float my boat, it was lovely to go and see this wonderful, heartwarming, independent movie called Holy Days. And the premise is 3 nuns on the run, and you think, oh, I've seen this all before. But what's different is these nuns are going across New Zealand. So the star of the show, I think, is the New Zealand scenery. It is just breathtaking, utterly breathtaking. And they take this little Maori boy to find his relatives, and it's not so much about that bit. It's just about they're going to be thrown out of their nunnery, but it's about the relationship they have with this little boy, that they look after him, and his mum has died, and he's very angry and bitter towards the world, and he wants to go to this what he perceives as magic mountain to find his mum. And it kind of does happen in a weird sort of spiritual way, and it's very much it's very respectful to sort of the Maori culture, and it was made in a very respectful but beautiful way. And the director, Nat Bolt, who has followed me on Instagram and has actually shared my story, made me so happy, because we should be sharing movies like this. This movie was very special. It's an independent movie in a sea of, as I say, CGI movies, which have got big budgets, and this wonderful little movie has done so well all over the world. And I really, really hope that by word of mouth, it's just going to continue to grow. And Miriam Margolyes is one of the nuns, and she's an absolute star turn, as always. She doesn't have to do much. She's just Miriam Margolyes. But as I say, the star of the show is the New Zealand scenery. It's simply exquisite, and a great advert. I mean, it's like an advert for the New Zealand Tourist Board, because what I love about New Zealand is just so much. It's so different. You've got the beautiful mountains, the snowy covered mountains, and then you've got the lakes and the trees, and it's just, but it's the friendliness of the Kiwi people that just comes across, and I absolutely loved it. It's funny, it's moving, it's very, very thought-provoking, and I would recommend it to absolutely anybody. It is just fabulous. I've not seen a movie like that in a long time. And finally, today we're going to talk about something that I think gets more and more important as we get older, and that's female friendship. My friend Steph, we've been friends for 45 years, and this link is dedicated to Steph. We've kind of grown up together. I mean, I say grown up together. We met when we were in our late teens, so it's 1920, in Zimbabwe. We worked for the same company but in different cities, and we did the same job, and we just chatted every day and really got very, very close. And then it turns out that she was going out with my cousin, with whom I was very close. And so that, she was part of the family, and we just I think we were quite close, but not close to start with, actually, but we just got on really, really well. But we came to the UK together, and we have been through literally everything together, marriage, divorce, birth of our children. We're godparents to each other's kids. And she is my 3 o'clock in the morning person. She's the person I would call at 3 o'clock in the morning if something was going wrong, and I know that I am her person as well. And that female friendship is so, so important. She knows the history because she was there. And old friends don't need explanations. We can not see each other we only see each other twice a year because she lives up north. But when we get together, we literally will not stop talking for 3 days. We talk every day, and God knows what we talk about, but we just do. And the good thing about such an old friendship, I suppose, is that they've seen every version of you. But why friendship can become harder as life gets busy, and why we need to be intentional about maintaining friendship. So it is about checking in, seeing how the other is doing, even if you're going through hell yourself. And Steph has always been there for me. And I just want to say, Steph, I love you to the moon and back again, and you are the best friend a girl could ever have. I'm trying to get emotional. Queen Bee is a women's circle that I go to on a monthly basis, which is run by the gorgeous Nikki Marchant. She has the most gorgeous yurt, and it's basically women coming together to laugh, talk, listen and connect. And every month we get together, and it is just so heartwarming. And even when you're feeling really, really down, just us all getting together in this beautiful circle of friendship, with snacks and laughs and just, we don't know each other, but by the end we do. And Nikki is the most wonderful hostess, and I absolutely love it. This is such a big part of my monthly circle where I go to the Queen Bee. So I would say, do you have a Steph? Have you ever been part of a women's circle? And Steph, if you're listening, this one's for you. 45 years of friendship. I absolutely love you. And that's it for this week's Nancy Stevens Lifestyle Show. Thank you as always for listening and for all your lovely messages and feedback. I really do love hearing from you. And next week, as I said, I've got a very special guest for you, the wonderful Sarah Pinborough, who will be joining me. Sarah is a Sunday Times #1 best-selling author, the woman behind Her Eyes, and she's written almost 30 novels. We're going to talk about her new book, her incredible career, writing those twists that leave us absolutely speechless, and seeing her stories come alive on screen. So if you're a Sarah Pinborough fan, or if you simply love a good psychological thriller, make sure you join me next week. Until then, take care, stay fabulous, and I'll see you next time.